You have something very valuable, and you might not even realize how valuable it is, and you might not even track how you use it. I'm talking about your attention. Your attention, your focus is your energy, and it's extremely valuable. It's valuable for you because it determines what you do, what you think, where you direct your focus and your energy. And it's valuable for other people because if they manage to get your attention, to get your energy, to captivate your focus, then it's so much easier to persuade you, to sell you things, to convince you of whatever they want you convincing. Our subconscious mind can hold at a time only 7 buckets. And that's maximum. So there are only 7 things you can think about maximum at a time, like hold it in your mind. So you might think, oh, I need to pick up my kids. I need to finish this thing for work. I need to pay this bill. I need to call my friend. So that's maximum amount of 7 things which your mind can juggle and hold in those things. So when you're focusing on something, that's what you're more likely to do. When you're thinking about something, you lean in towards whatever that is. So notice throughout the day what are the things you're focusing on, and do it intentionally. And the more intentional you are with your energy and with your focus and with your attention, the more intentional your life is.
I think one of the things that people are forgetting is that our brain is actually so good at doing its job. And its job, and its one job alone, is to search for the things that we think the most. This is why I think attention is pretty much life. Life is attention. Where you put your attention in that moment is your life. This is why proximity matters. This is why where you are, your environment, what you consume matters. What book you read, who you hang out with, what job you have, they all matter. Because at the end of the day, it feeds into your attention. And whatever is in your attention, your brain will keep looking and searching for those things. And I reiterate this because if you're the kind of person who's constantly complaining about life, you're gonna find more things to complain about life because that's where your attention is. If you're someone who goes in life thinking like, I am such a lucky person, then your brain will just constantly look for the things that you are lucky about. It doesn't even matter what it is. It could just be like, there are some people I've met out there who's like, genuinely feel like I'm lucky I woke up today. Like they genuinely feel that, and that's where the attention is. So they think that their day is a gift, and their day will be a gift. Trauma is one of those big things too. The more you give it life, the more you keep talking about it, the more you go around being like, I'm like this because of what my parents did, I'm like this because of what my teacher did, the more your brain is going to keep agreeing with you. It's always just going to look for things to confirm what you think out there. And I think a lot of us are doing it wrong. A lot of us are like trying to push all these negative thoughts or thoughts that we deem negative away by willpower, by we're just like, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. Again, it's that same law with the pink elephant. The more you try not to think about the pink elephant, the more you're going to think about the pink elephant. An idea cannot be destroyed unless there's another idea that comes into place with it. So the only way to move on from a lot of these negative thinking or change your attention to something is for you to think of another thing, for you to be able to shift your attention. I honestly think like some of the most successful people I meet, and not just like with money or wealth, but with like relationships and life and moving forward and being able to pivot, it's just these people have a really good way of changing their attention or like pivoting their attention to something else. They're the kind of people who's like, if bad things happen to them, they don't dwell on that bad things. They think of a solution right away and then they move on. Like, think like a goldfish is one of like, I remember I met that one person who's just like, Kev, just think like a goldfish. But a lot of us, because whenever a negative thing happens to us, we dwell on it. We assume it, like we take on it, and then we continue to talk about it, and then that's when we chronically complain about it, and then all of a sudden that becomes our personality year after year, and then all of a sudden 10 years down the road, someone will ask you like, why are you like this? And you're like, well, just because of that one thing that happened 10 years ago, which is kind of crazy. Your brain is going to do its job, and it's going to do its job well, and it's going to search for the things you think the most. So think empowering thoughts. Start creating ideas and thoughts that can replace old ideas that doesn't even serve you anymore. Start reading more. Start surrounding yourself with people that can really question your ideas. Stop talking. Like, really, like, stop talking about your past traumas, what this person did to you, all of that, because it's not going to help. Moving forward requires letting go of something. And I know deep in your hearts that you want to have some kind of like reform, some kind of like revenge to that person or environment or thing that did you that trauma. But trust me, it's not going to help you. It only reaffirms to your brain, because this is where you put attention to, that you are the victim. Year after year, you become more of a victim. Don't be that. Do whatever it is you need to do. Meditate, go out there, travel, but create new ideas, assume new identities, be as delulu as, if you want to say, you know, that's what you want to feel like. Ideas can only be replaced by other ideas. Start replacing them.
Okay, I just read something and I need to share it because it's honestly like very depressing. It is from this book, 4,000 Weeks, Time Management for Mortals. So you know the attention economy and how basically our most valuable resource now to ourselves and to companies is our attention. Hence why social media companies try to keep us on their sites for hours, right? Including this one. So this author is basically saying attention is not just a resource, it's the whole thing. Our attention is our life. So he writes, most other resources on which we rely as individuals, such as food, money, and electricity, are things that facilitate life. And in some cases, it's possible to live without them, at least for a while. Attention, on the other hand, just is life. Your experience of being alive consists of nothing other than the sum of everything to which you pay attention. I have never thought of life that way, but it's so true. Everything we choose to focus on is what we experience in life. Going back to this quote, at the end of your life, looking back, whatever compelled your attention from moment to moment is simply what your life will have been. So when you pay attention to something you don't especially value, it's not an exaggeration to say that you're paying with your life. Something about that like shakes me to my core. And if you ever needed a justification to leave that shitty job or partner or city or whatever, like, don't give it any more of your attention, because that is the narrative of your life that you are creating. Oh my God.
So if you want to be a clear thinker, you cannot pay attention to politics. It will destroy your ability to think. All our diseases are diseases of abundance, not diseases of scarcity, right? Old times I may have starved. Old times if I got sugar, that was a wonderful thing. I should have eaten all the sugar I could get my hands on. If I gotten a piece of news or gossip, that was interesting data. That would have helped my life and moved me forward. If I'd gotten some brief amount of entertainment, whether through video games or magazines or whatever, that would have been good. Now it's all diseases of abundance. We are overexposed to everything. So the way to survive in modern society is to be an ascetic. It is to retreat from society. There's too much society everywhere you go. Society in your phone, society in your pocket, society in your ears. You're being socialized right now by listening to this podcast.
Right.
We're socializing you. We're programming you. Everyone's trying to program everybody. The only solution is turn it off.
Your presence is currency. Listen to me now. Your presence is currency. I want you to spend it wisely, and I want you to charge accordingly. I know you've heard it said 1,000,000 times. Your greatest asset is time. Time is worth more than money. And somebody's this person's time is worth more than that person's time. Why? Because they understand that their presence is currency. So spend it wisely. Who are you spending your time with? When you get this, that your presence is currency,